बैठ जाओ। Guys, is my screen visible? The people online?
Yes, sir.
Hello, let me know. Okay, but can someone speak? I need to check the headphone.
Yes, sir, visible.
तो भाई कर लिया रिवाइज कल का? कितने लोग रिवाइज करके आए? हाथ खड़ा करो जरा। रिवाइज कितने लोगों ने किया है कल के लेक्चर को? 2 लोग बस? बहुत है बच्चा। और बताएं आप लोग, जो लोग ऑफलाइन है उनमें से क्वेश्चन पूछना शुरू करूं? कल के लेक्चर से क्वेश्चन पूछूं? पढ़ के आए हो? बताओ भाई, ये जो एप्लीकेंट क्लास है, जो बनाया था क्लास लेक्चर में, एप्लीकेंट क्लास, राइट? Why we don't have the main method in this applicant class? Do we have the main method here in the applicant class? कोड भी भेजा था आप लोग को। हेलो, हेलो, हेलो। आगे लो भाई, इतना करीब करीब बैठे हो आप लोग, आगे आ जाओ। ये पूरी वो खाली है। खासतौर से जो लोग लैपटॉप लेके आए वो तो आगे आ ही जाए, क्योंकि आप कुछ भी करेंगे आपको दिखाना होगा तो। Yeah, guys, tell me why we don't have the main method in the applicant class. In the last class, we have made two classes, or the, two Java files. One is the applicant.java and one is the startprogram.java, right? And so were the two classes. So why we have not written the main method in the applicant.java class? मेल आपको किया था ना कोड मैंने व्हाट्सएप किया था, राइट? तो इसमें आपको कहीं मेन मेथड दिख रहा है क्या? एक बनने को तो बन सकती है, यहाँ भी बना दूंगा मैं। बट see, what I'm saying is that the way I have inserted a main method here, I am free to just copy the same thing and go to the applicant.java class, have the main method over here also. Nothing stops me, right? But why should I prefer not to have the main method here in applicant.java? और नहीं रहे भाई आप लोग, कल के लेक्चर में ही बताया था ना। नहीं समझ में आएगा, ऐसे बता रहा हूँ। इस तरह से अगर आप लोग डालते जाओगे चीज को, समझ में नहीं आएगा फिर। People from online class. Okay, can someone summarize me what we have done in the applicant class? Let me remove this main method here. Whatever we have done in the applicant class. Okay. What's your name? Saji says that we have defined the variables here, right? These variables are called as state variables or the instance variable when the object is created out of this class. Okay. If there are three objects created at the runtime, then that means for each and every object, the set of variables, these instance variables or the state variables, they have their different values. ठीक है, जैसे 3 ऑब्जेक्ट हमने बनाए थे, अमित का, अली का और दिशान, 3 ऑब्जेक्ट बनाए थे, राइट? So we have different names for all the 3 applicants. The objects carries different names. Their age might be different, their gender, their mail ID, their addresses, their category, everything would be different, right? Or probably might be same in certain cases, right? But ideally, the overall the state, the complete set of variables, the values taken together, might differ from one object to the other object. ठीक है, ज्यादा क्लियर है ना? Then what we have done? Two string method का, right? So what we have done is I will not use the word override as of now because we have not studied it so far, but somehow we have using the ID, we have created this two string method automatically, which uses all the variables: name of the applicant, age of the applicant, course applied, gender, phone number, mail ID, application address, permanent address, and category, string category, to give a string representation of the state of the object at a particular instance of time. ठीक है, उस पर्टिकुलर मोमेंट में किसी भी इन तीनों में से किसी ऑब्जेक्ट को उठाएंगे, उसका टू स्ट्रिंग मेथड प्रिंट कर देंगे या उस ऑब्जेक्ट के इंस्टेंस को system dot out dot println में पास कर देंगे, तो जो मैसेज हमारे पास आएगा that will be of something like applicant in school start, the name of applicant is equal to, till this string will be printed, and then what we'll have, we will have the name of the applicant, the variable value replaced here. Similarly, the variable value of age of applicant will be replaced here. A complete string representation of the state of the object will be printed or will be written by the two string method. You can see the return type is string. Clear?
Sir.
Okay. Then we have got the getter and the setter methods. We have also discussed this in the last class. Please, for the God's sake, go and revise the lecture. आप नहीं करोगे नहीं आएगा समझ में. आपको इंडस्ट्री में जाकर सर्चिंग सॉर्टिंग का प्रोग्राम नहीं लिखना है, ठीक है? सीखना है तो पढ़ना पड़ेगा. So we have got the getter and the setter methods that we have defined. What are the getter methods? Apart from Sajid, anyone else? People from online or offline, anyone?
Imran sir.
What are the getter methods and what are the setter methods? सब कुछ डिस्कस हुआ है, प्रॉपर्ली डिस्कस हुआ है. The methods which start by the name prefix get added to the variable name. For example, the name of the variable was name of applicant, right? We have prefix get to it, right? So these methods basically return you the variable value of that particular instance variable or state variable, that is name of applicant. So it has a return type string. Okay? So getter means you are trying to get something out of that method, and what you are getting is the value of the state variable. That is what you are getting back, right? Similarly, for every corresponding variable, you have got one setter method also. The setter methods are prefixed by the set word before the name of the variable. And what you are doing is, as the name indicates, it is meant to set or change a particular instance variable. ठीक है, इसका मतलब नेम ऑफ एप्लीकेंट को मुझे चेंज करना है तो मुझे सेट नेम ऑफ एप्लीकेंट variable method को कॉल करना पड़ेगा. And what I am going to pass as an argument to the call of this method is actually the name, right? Say Amit Singh. So that will be received in the parameter here, which is method local variable, and this parameter is going to set the same value to the instance variable. The instance variable is distinguished using this keyword. This dot name of applicant means the instance variable. If I click on this, yesterday also I've shown that the instance variable is highlighted. If I click on this without name of applicant without this keyword, then what will happen? This particular variable, which is a method local variable, is being highlighted. Okay. The typical problem is called as problem of shadowing. That means we are using the same name for the instance variable as well as the method parameter, which is receiving a particular value to set on the instance variable. So this name shadows the instance variable name. The method local variable name shadows the instance variable name. So to resolve the confusion or the problem, we are using this to distinguish the instance variable from the method local variable. Correct? So all we have done in this particular class is to define set of variables, to generate all the getter and the setter methods automatically. You can choose to write it on your own, but that will be a very cumbersome task. Then what we have done is we have generated the toString method, which returns a string representation of all the state variables of a particular object at a particular instance of time. Clear? In start program.java, we have done nothing. We have just created a main method. Here in the first 3 lines, line number 7 to 9, what we have done is we have created 3 different objects with the reference variable name Amit, Ali, and Zishan of the type class applicant. So if you look at this line number 7, right hand side of the equal to is the instruction for the Java virtual machine at the time of runtime when the program executes that create a new object of the type applicant. In fact, there is more to it. We will discuss later. Create a new object of applicant.
Imran sir.
And the address that you receive for this particular object, set that address to the Amit reference variable, which is again defined to contain only the applicant reference variable, not the string object reference variable, not any other object reference variable. For example, if I try to do something like this, Amit equal to new string
Sir.
we are getting the compilation error, right? Type mismatch cannot convert from string to applicant. Just like in the case of primitive, when we try to assign a double value to a floating point value, for example, we have done something similar like this, where we have got a type mismatch, types are not compatible. In that case, we got the same message. Similarly, if this reference variable Amit is declared, here it is declared till now. The highlighted portion is the declaration of the Amit variable for being of the type of applicant. So I can use to store the address of only the applicant object, nothing else, or anything which is compatible to the applicant object. So whatever it means by the compatibility of the object, that will come in the later classes. Okay? Don't worry about it. Okay? As of now, just remember, okay, if I have used Amit to declare that Amit is of the type applicant, so then it is not going to store an object address of any other type.
Imran sir.
Yeah.
सर बच्चे स्टूडेंट्स वेट कर रहे हैं सर, रिक्वेस्ट एक्सेप्ट कर लिए.
Very good. बोल के लोग ज्वाइन कर. Any questions? ठीक है. So this slide is not possible. Type mismatch. So the first three lines, what we have done, we have created the three objects. Then you see, we have defined the setter and the getter methods. In line number 12, we are calling the setter method set name of applicant for Amit, because the Amit, Ali and Dishan objects are created, but they are blank. I have shown you that using the debugging feature in the last class that while these three lines executes, you can see the objects are being created in the variable list during the debugging phase, right? But they do not contain any real value. The primitive variables like integer gets the default value of 0. The Boolean gets the default value of false. If there is a floating point variable, that will get a default value of 0.0. And any of the strings, like the name of the applicant or the course applied and so on, they will get the default value as null because the object is not yet created for them. Now, as soon as we pass this Amit Singh in the set of the applicant method, this particular line number 12, if it gets executed, what happens? You see, this value Amit Singh is received by the parameter variable, which is method local variable, and is being set to this instance variable, name of applicant. Now, string is a class, so that means this reference variable is going to get the address of a string object that contains the string literal Amit Singh. ठीक है? Clear है? देखो आप लोग अगर पढ़ के आओगे तो मैं आगे बढ़ पाऊंगा. आप पढ़ के नहीं आओगे तो मैं फिर वहीं से रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा, लेने की कहानी वही रहेगी. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा मेहनत करो भाई. ऑनलाइन क्लास करके आप लोग जैसे लगता है थक गए हो, कुछ आता जाता नहीं है किसी को. इतना समझ में आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है? Now we have chosen to declare the main method only in the class start program.java, right? Because there will be just one place from where we will need to start the execution of the program, right? Apart from that particular class, we do not need to define the main method elsewhere. ठीक है? अगर यहाँ से मुझे स्टार्ट करना है तो इसके अलावा हो सकता है मैं applicant.java क्लास मैंने बनाया. Similarly, I can also make other classes. Like once the applicant is enrolled to a particular class, then we can have the class like a student. Okay. Then we may have the class who is for a student who is passed out, like alumni, right? Then we may have the class like course admitted. For the admission purpose, we will show that this student is admitted to this particular course and so on, right? So there could be a number of classes in the whole application, but ideally, if it is a desktop application or a console-based application, which is again a desktop application, in that case, there is a chances that we will have just one class which will have the main method, because only one class will have the responsibility to start the execution of the program. Okay? If I try to run this applicant.java, this will not run because it doesn't have the main method. It doesn't have the main method. If I need to execute the program, start the program, I will have to go for start program.java and I will have to execute this, right? And we are getting the string representation of the three applicants. I'm missing Sayyid Ali, Nishan Hussain, right? For whatever value we have set for them from the which method? From the toString method, right? Correct. So all we have done is we have passed this Amit reference variable to system.out.println. This is very much similar, or rather you can say it is translated to something called as toString method call. It's the same thing basically. Whether you do this or this, whether you just type the reference variable name, automatically assume that the toString method is called over that particular reference variable. And the string representation is actually the one which is being printed into the through the reprintln method. ठीक है, क्लियर है? तो ये दो तरीका आपको बताया, चाहे आप डायरेक्टली रेफरेंस वेरिएबल डाल दें या फिर डिस्टेंस वेरिएबल के ऊपर टू स्ट्रिंग मेथड कॉल कर दे एक्सप्लिसिटली बताने के लिए कि एक्चुअली आप क्या कर रहे हैं. ठीक है, डिपेंड्स अपॉन व्हाटएवर यू लाइक. So if we talk about the data type in Java language, they could be categorized in two forms, right? One we have seen is primitive data type. The other is user-defined data type. Boolean, int for integer, short, then float, long, double, char. कितने हुए? 7 हुए. एक कौन सा बोल रहा हूँ मैं बीच में? बाइट. There is also data type byte. ठीक है, so these are the 8 primitive data types, right? In user-defined data type, we have just seen applicant. We have used the class keyword to define this user data type, applicant. Okay, this is the data type that stores the details of the applicant. String, right? This is something, applicant is something which we have defined. String is something which has been already defined by the providers of the Java language, and we can use it, right? But this is a class because you can see the convention being followed. Applicant, we have used A also as capital, and for the string, S also as capital. The conventions are something which, even if you violate, they do not, affect your compilation and the execution of the program, but rather they are a very bad way of programming. So you have to follow the conventions. Okay. Now, Boolean is something that has got just two values: true and false. Now these values, as you must have seen in C and C++, you can replace these values for 0 and 1 also, right? Here in Java, there is nothing like 0 and 1. 0 and 1 are numbers, right? So we have either true or false, these two values. We cannot replace them with 0 or 1. Don't try this, you will get the compilation error. Now, then comes byte. Byte, short, int, and long. These four, byte, short, int, and long. These four are the number representation without decimal. These data types are meant for number representation without decimal. That means if I want to write 36, that could be either a byte or a short or an int or a long. The only difference is that all these data types have different sizes, just like a small and the large container. So byte has a size 1 byte, that is 8 bits. ठीक है, छोटा कंटेनर हो गया, just double the size. Short 2 bytes is equal to 16 bits. Int for integer, right? 4 bytes, 32 bits, right? And then the largest number, non-decimal number, is data type is long. It has got 8 bytes or 64 bits. ठीक है? So now all these numbers are signed numbers. These are signed numbers. Right? What is a signed and unsigned number? In certain languages, you will get a different data type for signed and unsigned, number set, floating point decimals also, numbers also. So what is signed and unsigned? What is the difference? Okay, which has got either positive or negative value, that is called as a signed, data type. Which doesn't care for it is unsigned. Like for example, for character, char, we do not need to have a positive or negative representation, right? So when this is signed, let me say that whether I'm talking about byte, short, int or long, the first bit of all the available space is used to store the sign. For example, if I talk about byte, which has got 8 bits, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the blocks are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 blocks, right? So this value may contain either 0 or 1 to indicate a positive or negative sign. The rest of the bits values, they will be used to actually store the information about the number value. Okay? So this is the smallest container for a number storage. Okay? Short में जाएंगे तो इसी का double हो जाएगा, 16 हो जाएगा. 16 में से 1 bit will be used for sign and the rest 15 bits will be used for numeric values, storing the value of the numeric values. Now I want to know, for example, just for the purpose of example, I want to know the size of byte. That means how many numbers I can store in byte. Okay? Huh? This is gone, right? So we are left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 placeholders for storing 0 or 1, right? Then how do we calculate? 2 to the power 7, right? Every bit will have 2 values and there are 7 bits, 2 to the power 7, right? That means 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, 7 times. 2 into 2, 4, 4 to 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, right? 1 bit is for minus or plus. So we start with minus 128. This is the smallest value that a byte container or byte variable can store. That means if I declare byte, say for example, b var is equal to, I can store minus 128. Okay? Correct? यहाँ से इसकी रेंज शुरू हो रही है, the smallest number. Then I can go till plus 127. Why 127? Because there is a 0 in between. ठीक है, जो basic फंडा आपकी हर लैंग्वेज में होता है. ठीक है. So I will start with the negative number, 0 will come in between, and then I will reach 12 to 127. So this is the range. What happens if we violate this range? Let's try to see. Let me create a new class for test. Here we have got, right? So let's try to remove all these things. Okay. Byte b var is equal to 128. Okay. We have got the range minus 128 to 127, right? I have tried to exceed the range by one value. I have assigned the value 128. Now what is the message I am getting? Type mismatch cannot convert from int to byte. Why we are getting this message is because we have defined the type of the variable to be of type byte. This is the declaration on the left side of the equal to. Right hand side of the equal to contains a constant value. It contains a constant value. Now what will happen when we have got 4 different types of variables or data types like byte, short, int, and long. For a constant variable, the default that will be picked is int. Int is of 4 bytes, right? Now we are trying to fit this 4 bytes data into a 1 byte container, a variable which has a size of 1 byte. So it is saying it's a type mismatch, right? Now what we can do is we can simply put a bracket over here and type byte over here. The compilation error goes. So this is what we call as explicit cast. Explicit cast. I am trying to cast, being vocal about it, that I am casting. I know that this number, this 128 constant is by default treated as integer, but I know what I am doing. Convert it to a byte and is stored in the variable bvar, which is of the byte in nature. This is what I am instructing to the virtual machine. Okay. Now what will happen in this case? If I do this, let me just remove all these things. I want to print system.out.println and then the var. I'm printing this value of this bvar, right? Let me run it. What is the output I'm getting? Minus 128. What has happened? Are we getting any garbage value just like C or C++? No. If we move it to 129, let's see what happens. Minus 127. It's a kind of rotation, right? We have started from minus 128 to 127. When we exceed 127, we have written 128. That is rotated to the minimum value, minus 128. We have exceed plus 1. That is rotated to another next value, minus 127, and so on. ठीक है, तो एक तरह से rotation शुरू हो जा रहा है इसमें, right? But we are not getting the garbage value. Although the value will be wrong because we have tried to fit something which is of the larger size. 128 cannot fit in the byte. Okay? And we have taken the responsibility that we are doing the casting explicitly. That's our responsibility if anything error happens. So the virtual machine is satisfied. It will allow you to do this. But the responsibility is ultimately yours. You are getting a wrong result. ठीक है? हाँ. क्या हुआ? हाँ. इसे बताता हूँ एक बार. ऐसे आप देखो. Minimum value byte क्या बोला? Minus 128. Range is for one byte is minus 128 till 127. ठीक है, यहाँ तक रेंज है. बीच में एक जीरो वैल्यू आ रही है. Now minus 128, उसके बाद नेक्स्ट वैल्यू क्या आएगी? minus 127 आएगी. उसके बाद नेक्स्ट वैल्यू क्या आएगी? 126 आएगी minus and so on up till 0, then 1, 2 till 127. This is the last value, right? अब मैंने bvar में 128 डाला. इसके बियॉन्ड ये कैरी नहीं कर सकता. इसी रेंज की वैल्यू को ही एक्सेप्ट करेगा, राइट? सो व्हाट हैपेंस, इट इज ऑटोमेटिकली शिफ्टिंग दिस वैल्यू टू द नेक्स्ट. इसके बाद आगे कहाँ जाएगा? नहीं जाएगा. तो जगह नहीं है तो घूम के यहाँ आ जा रहा है ये. अगर 129 डाल दूंगा तो क्या होगा? घूम करके इसकी अगली वैल्यू पे आ जाएगा. ठीक है, यानी एक तरह से समझिए सर्किल की तरह से ये रोटेट कर रहा है चीज पे, वैल्यूज पे. ठीक है, करेक्ट. कभी कभी ऐसे क्वेश्चंस जो आपके जो रिटन एग्जाम्स वगैरह होते हैं उसमें पूछते हैं क्या आउटपुट होगा. ठीक है. Now we have just seen the explicit cast. Explicit cast means we are vocal about that. We know that this particular value is an integer value which will not fit in a smaller container. This is meant for a larger container, but we are taking the responsibility to convert it anyways. ठीक है, then whatever happens is your responsibility. ठीक है. Okay, in certain cases you do not have to do the explicit cast. For example, if I say integer x is equal to 7, ठीक है, byte. Okay, already we have defined byte, right? So let me give it a genuine value. 110. Is it okay? 110. कोई टाइप मिसमैच नहीं आया? ये -128 से 127 की रेंज के अंदर है, right? So we are not getting any error here. Now what I want to do is I want to say x is equal to b where. Okay, spelling is mistake, right? B where. Camel case. Here convention for variable declaration. Now, do we get any error? No, because this is implicit cast. Now, this is what we call as implicit cast. Okay. Explicit में हमने क्या किया था? हम explicitly हमने बोला था ब्रैकेट लगा के, right? कि we are trying to cast to this particular data type. We know that it's not right to do this, but we take the responsibility. So we were explicit about it, right? Here we are not explicit about it, okay? We know that it's a different data type, but it will not show a mismatch because the type of the variable byte is, the requirement is 1 byte, sorry, and the integer has got a size of 4 bytes. So of course, any content which can come inside or which can come into the container of 1 byte can also be placed in the container of 4 bytes. So implicitly JVM has converted or casted, right? You do not have to say this because there is no loss. The JVM अपने हाथ कब खड़े करेगा? जब उसको लगेगा कि आप कुछ गलत हो सकता है, ठीक है, तो वो आपको एरर मैसेज देगा, कंपाइलेशन एरर दिया, तब आपने उस कंपाइलेशन एरर को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए, यानी JVM को सेटिस्फाई करने के लिए कास्ट लगाया ब्रैकेट में डाल करके अलग से, उसको हम बोल रहे हैं एक्सप्लिसिट कास्ट। यहाँ पे कोई खतरे की बात नहीं है, 4 की स्टोरेज है और हम 1 बाइट की वैल्यू को उसमें डाल रहे हैं, जा सकता है, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। तो यहाँ पे जो कास्ट हो रहा है ये इंटरनल हो रहा है बाय द JVM, तो JVM डजंट वांट टू बॉदर यू, ठीक है, कंपाइलेशन एरर देके या टाइप मिसमैच बता के आपको परेशान नहीं करना चाहता है, उसने सिंपली अपना काम कर लिया, ठीक है, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है उससे, ठीक है, क्लियर है? So got the difference between implicit cast and the explicit cast, right? Okay, so coming back to this discussion, so we have got the range for the byte. Similarly, if you want to calculate the range for a short variable, what will be the range for short variable? It's 2 bytes in size. What is going to be the range? 16 bit हो रही है. It has got 16 bits. That means 2 bytes. 1 bit is reserved for the sign. So we have got left with 15 bits. So minus 2 to the power 15, जो भी वैल्यू आती हो कैलकुलेट कर लेंगे आप, till 2 to the power 15 minus 1 because there is a 0 in between. ठीक है, अगर कैलकुलेट करना हो तो इतना बड़ा कैलकुलेशन कर सकते हैं, बट इन शॉर्ट जब भी क्वेश्चन पूछेगा नॉर्मली इस फॉर्म में आपसे पूछेगा, आपको अननेसेसरी वो पेपर वर्क करने को नहीं कहेगा, ठीक है। सिमिलरली फॉर इंट, टेल मी व्हाट कुड बी द रेंज फॉर इंट? So what should I write? Just like this. Minus 2 to the power 31 till 2 to the power 31 minus 1. Range for, this is range of values that can be set. 4 byte ही तो कह रहे हैं, शॉर्ट को लिखा है 2 bytes. This is short data type होता है. बेटा हर बिट में 2 वैल्यू आती है ना, तो जब भी हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे बाइनरी फॉर्म में करेंगे ना, 2 to the power ही करेंगे हमेशा, ठीक है। इंटीजर की रेंज क्या होगी? -2 to the power 31 till 2 to the power 31 minus 1. लॉन्ग की क्या होगी बताओ? हाँ, till ठीक है, correct. Now similarly we have got data type for we have seen the data type for boolean, true and false. We have seen the data type for natural numbers. that is integer, short, byte, and long. Now the numbers, the two data types for the floating point numbers, that is the numbers which has got the decimal part in it. So floating point data types क्या हो रहा है भाई? ये काम करो आगे जो देखो